Hey y'all, Eric Adcock, this is Awkward of Life. Today is November the 11th, and it's Veterans Day. And I come across this story yesterday, and I want to do a podcast about it. And I remember the story about Private Henry Gunther. He was the last man killed November 18th, 1918, 1 minute before the war was over. And everybody had been, had knew about the armistice, that the war was ending. Why they set a time on it, I don't know, but it was 11 a.m. was when all fighting and all that should have stopped. So on the morning of that, and I won't weigh down with too much history, but they were on a patrol, and they come across, the American soldiers had come across a German machine gun post. And the Germans fired warning shots like, hey, the war is over with. Put down your weapons. We're putting down our weapons. And against even his commanding officer, Private Henry Gunther decided to charge the German machine gun with bayonets fixed. He decided he was going to just ride it on out, and he charged the machine gun nest. And although he was of German descent, he understood the commands that, hey, we don't want any more fighting. Please put down your weapons. Private Henry was determined to, for whatever reason, attack this military machine gun post. And the German soldiers, to save their own life, shot and killed him. So he died at 10:59 on November the 11th, 1918, just 1 minute away. And the backstory on this probably would give you a little bit more insight on why maybe Henry did what he did. When he got to France about 6 months earlier, he was a sergeant, and he was returning a letter. He was writing a friend a letter home, and he just didn't want to be there. He didn't want to be in the army, and he resented the fact that he was there. So in his letter, he had told a friend not to sign up. Not that just he was not very encouraging of the war effort. Well, that letter got intercepted because they were screening all letters pretty much back then. So they demoted him from sergeant to private. And so here he was. I don't know if he was facing some kind of, I'm going to be ridiculed for losing my rank, or whatever it was. But he went from being a staff sergeant to being a private. And it was a staff sergeant. Maybe it was something like that. I can't remember. It was anyway. He was sergeant. He got demoted to private. Anyway, so here he was, the day of the armistice. Decided he was going to. I don't know. In my mind, maybe I'm going to make it right. I'm gonna go out and restore the family name or whatever. And so he continued to fight. And there's so many lessons you can learn from this, positive and negative, that it's just astounding. There's a lot to unpack. I'm going to put a link to his story. And but the first thing that came to my mind was like, it was a pride issue. It was an absolute pride issue. He wanted to somehow redeem himself, and he did. He was awarded, of course, posthumously, he was awarded the Distinguished Service Cross. He had his rank restored, but he lost his life. He lost his life. And but he gained back what he had lost. So much you can talk about here. Was it worth it? He was 23 years old when he died. Was it worth him fighting to the last minute? I probably, honestly, I may have just said, you know what, the enemy doesn't want to fight anymore. I don't want to fight anymore. Let's just ride this thing out. War's over. Let's everybody go home. But he did not. He fought to the very end. You can make an argument that this was the good fight of faith, and he was going to the end. And he lost his life, but he restored his honor. He got back his, and he became a hero. And he's got grave markers in France, and he's remembered fairly well over here because he fought right till the end. I don't know. It's a lot you can take a lot of life perspective from this story that happened. Oh man, like 107 years ago. I find it really tragic, though. I find it really tragic that something would drive a person. This is just me. That something would drive a person to keep fighting up until the bitter end, so to speak. And I know people that do that with relationships, with family, with friends. They keep fighting until the very end. And unlike Henry, they don't get anything restored. They just keep destroying things. But there's also you can make a good argument that, hey, keep fighting until the war's absolutely over. I don't know. I'm going to put a link to his story. Y'all check it out and let me know what you think. Send me an email, eric@thisawkwardlife.com. Y'all have a good day.